We've all seen the smoke-filled indoor arenas, the sweat-drenched outdoor arenas, the roaring crowds, and that rebellious spirit that defines rock and roll. Here's a story that unfolded offstage, a meeting of minds that would forever change the rock and roll game. This is the story of Aerosmith and Run DMC and a collision of genres that sent shockwaves through the music industry. To start this story out, we have to backtrack a little bit, back to when Aerosmith wasn't quite doing so hot. It was 1982, the year after I graduated high school, and the rock and roll world was in for a shock. Aerosmith was already a legendary rock band known for raw, electrifying performances, chart-topping hits, but they found themselves facing a major setback. According to Steven Tyler, the band was on the top of the world, selling out arenas and pumping out records, but behind the scenes, things were falling apart. Fame and fortune took their toll on the band. They were caught up in a whirlwind of drugs, egos, and internal conflicts. The excessive partying and substance abuse issues started to affect their relationships, both personally and professionally. It wasn't long before the consequences caught up with them. In 1982, Columbia Records dropped Aerosmith from their record label because of a combination of declining album sales and the band's inability to deliver new material. That was a sobering wake-up call for Aerosmith. Their future as a band seemed uncertain, and the music industry had turned its back on them. According to Tom Hamilton, losing the support of the record label was a hard pill to swallow, but looking back, it was the necessary wake-up call. We needed to reassess ourselves and find our way back to the music. So now, being forced to confront their demons and with their backs against the wall, Aerosmith embarked on a journey of self-discovery and redemption. They made the decision to get clean and sober, focusing on their personal well-being and the revitalization of their creative spark. During this process, they realized that the music was what truly mattered. The band had to strip away all the distractions and get back to the heart and soul that was Aerosmith. And that's exactly what they did. With renewed determination and a newfound sense of purpose, Aerosmith embarked on a remarkable comeback. Let's move a little ahead now to 1984. That's when Geffen Records signed Aerosmith for several reasons. Aerosmith had already achieved significant success in the 70s, faced challenges in the 80s due to drug addiction and internal conflicts, but they managed to make a fairly successful comeback with their album Done With Mirrors in 1985. Music industry executive David Geffen saw the newfound potential in Aerosmith and recognized the opportunity to work with a legendary rock band. Geffen Records had a reputation for signing and promoting successful acts, such as John Lennon, Neil Young, and Guns N' Roses. Signing Aerosmith allowed Geffen Records to add another iconic band to their roster and potentially benefit from the band's resurgence. On top of that, Geffen Records offered Aerosmith a lucrative contract and significant financial backing, which appealed to the band and they kinda needed at the time. The label had the resources and experience to support Aerosmith's comeback and help them regain their popularity. Geffen Records also had strong connections in the music industry, which provided Aerosmith with better opportunities for exposure and promotion. Now, with that out of the way, Run DMC was an American hip-hop group that emerged in the early 80s. The group consisted of Joseph Run Simmons, Daryl DMC McDaniels, and Jason Jammaster J. Mizell. Their story began in Hollis, Queens, New York, where Run and DMC grew up as childhood friends. In 1983, Run DMC released their debut single, It's Like That, Sucker MCs, which showed their unique rap style and powerful delivery. The song received critical acclaim and set the foundation for their success. They followed up with their self-titled debut album, Run DMC in '84, which included tracks like Rock Box and Hard Times. The album blended rock and rap elements and was influential in shaping the sound of hip-hop. The breakthrough for Run DMC came on their third album, Raising Hell, which was released in 1986. The album featured a collaboration with Aerosmith on the iconic track Walk This Way. At the time, Aerosmith was experiencing a decline in popularity, but Run DMC's fresh take on their classic rock song breathed new life into it. Walk This Way became a massive hit, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, introducing rap to a broader audience and revitalizing Aerosmith's career. The first time they met, it was like worlds colliding. Two different genres, two different styles, and an uncertain energy filled the air, but they decided to take a leap of faith and create something extraordinary. According to Rick Rubin, the mastermind behind the get-together, there was hesitation on both sides, no doubt about it. Aerosmith was wary of DMC messing with their classic track, and DMC had their doubts about whether rock and rap could coexist. but that's what made it all the more exciting. So now, in a dimly lit studio, they stripped down the layers of doubt and skepticism. Run DMC's relentless flow met with Aerosmith's electrifying guitars head on. It was raw, it was gritty, and it was something the world had never seen before. According to Steven Tyler, Aerosmith was just a bunch of rock and roll misfits just doing their thing. They'd heard about these guys called Run DMC, knew they were flipping the rap game on its head, and they couldn't help but be intrigued. DMC says Aerosmith was the stuff of legends. They grew up listening to their records, pumping them across the speakers, but who would have thought the paths would ever cross? According to Run, we knew we had to bring our A game. We didn't want to just sample their music, we wanted to honor it, to inject it with our own flavor. We were about to take Walk This Way to a whole new level. And that's just what happened. When Walk This Way hit the airwaves, it was like a bomb going off. You can't miss that beat, the newly found explosive lyrics, and it struck a chord with fans from every corner. Walk This Way united rockers and rappers, breaking down barriers and tearing up the rulebook. Of course, when they made it, they didn't realize the impact it would have. Kids from all walks of life were coming together, pumping their fists in the air, shouting the lyrics. It was a movement, a revolution in stereo. The collaboration truly shook the music industry to its core, earning Grammy nominations, chart-topping success, and a place in the annals of rock and roll history. Boundaries were shattered and the game was forever changed. Let's go back to Rick Rubin now, who says, looking back, it's incredible to think about the impact of that moment. We pushed boundaries, challenged conventions, and showed the world what happens when you dare to dream big. So the next time you hear that unmistakable riff or those iconic lyrics, remember the story behind it all. The story of two legendary bands coming together, defying expectations, and leaving an everlasting mark on the world of music. Steve Tyler says we may have come from different worlds, but in the end, it was all about the music. It's about breaking free, tearing down walls, and embracing the unexpected. That's the spirit of rock and roll, baby.